So the week leading up to the beginning of COVID-19 lockdown, we started to receive daily calls from families and clients asking what was happening, and all we could say was that we didn't know. We started to have daily management meetings that ended in more questions than answers. We were waiting for the announcement like everybody else. Imagine how our clients felt constantly hearing the rumours of an illness that could kill you and not understanding what was happening and why. The one thing we were all sure of was that we wouldn't be closing down. We just didn't know what it would look like. At 8 o'clock, when it was finally announced by Boris that we were going into a 3-week lockdown, we all made a plan to allow us to work from home. We devised phone trays for outreach staff to make daily communication with clients and their families.
I heard about it on the news, about this virus that had come from China, about what the effect it was having, and then as it got on and on, I was getting more and more worried because we were going around with white things on, and they were all like, they had what they call the visors, and I was quite worried. I didn't know what was going to happen. I just thought it was going to be the end, really.
Felt scared, confused, and like my world fell apart. My routines and daily life had changed overnight, and I couldn't get my head around why or what had happened. I got my information on the news with the daily news updates. I also got my information online and through people around me. I don't feel like the information was clear every time, and I learned what we're supposed to do, and then it all changed again.
I was at my nan's when I heard about COVID, and I was worried that I would be very isolated. I didn't really understand how Mum was going to come over and help us, and how it was going to work with her going to her house if she was allowed to come over at my house, and how it was going to work with looking after us. And then with all the rules, it was keep on changing, and I didn't really understand any of that.
Starting at 5 o'clock, I used to watch the news, but I couldn't understand the grasp what it was showing us.
Some of our clients who lived on their own had no one to help. Our outreach team were amazing and went above and beyond their role to support our clients with shopping and honestly just having a chat with them. Our role suddenly became to protect them from COVID-19. When staff could have easily said everyone else was furloughed, so I want to be. And then we flashed forward 3 weeks later and lockdown continued. The rules changed and you were allowed an hour of daily exercise. Management rated our clients and families who were struggling, and staff started daily walks for those who needed out the house. These were done with social distance and PPE for 1 hour at a time. Those that couldn't do this had social distance garden visits with staff. So we stayed open during the lockdown, even if it wasn't looking like what we normally look like. We received funding to provide winter food support. We were delivering meals, including Christmas dinner, for those who normally go to family or the Salvation Army. As soon as we were able to restart full sessions, we worked with North Tyneside Council to put in place risk assessments to keep our staff and clients safe and bring them back to some normality.
There was Leslie came and Lindsay, and they came at the weekend just to take her for a walk, and but I couldn't deal with it. I just couldn't deal with it. I was panicking. I just didn't know what to do because they kept saying it would last, and I was just worried sick because I had no family, and the social worker couldn't come out, and so I started to panic. Because I had nothing to support, just stopped.
I managed alright because they were fetching stuff from one of them had a restaurant down the quayside and fetching food for that. And Neil was coming one day to have a walk around the Royal Quays and that. And,
LD NorthEast helped me process the changes. and the fact that my world had imploded without warning. I went on walks nearby that helped me de-stress and got into the nature and out of the house. LD NorthEast also helped explain what was happening and why.
We used to bring our meals to the house and that. You get our shopping in.
Well, Lindsay had got this new puppy. She said, "Will I bring Rory to see you?" I said, "Oh yeah." And he just went mad, he just loved it. It made us look forward to the next time they were coming. Every week I was looking forward to bringing Rory.
So with all the rule changes that Boris was making, the clients got very confused what they can and couldn't do. So we were developing easy read letters that were given out to everybody to explain all the different changes. As it became apparent that lockdown had no end date, we started some of our weekly activities on Zoom. We loaned iPads out to clients who didn't have the means to join so that they could have some normality in their lives. We had a weekly book club, an art session, our dance class was online, and even our Northern Notes choir would meet every week to sing. All these little things helped not only the clients but the staff's well-being.
When going through, when it was the lockdown, you used to go on Nova Notes, quizzes and that. Before the lockdown, I couldn't use the iPad. When after that, the people told us what to do. Then I just learned.
It was a bit weird at first, but then it just came normal, looking forward to getting onto Zoom and being with your friends.
Our job went from trying to keep clients at home safe to reassuring them that they could eventually leave the house.
So anyway, I went out, started going out a little bit more, but then started again. And I started to panic. I was just thinking that, everybody was on its head, they were just dying.
I would have understood the information better if the rules were explained properly, with reasons behind them, and if the people that made them also followed them as well.
It didn't explain very much really to people, because I didn't understand a thing. And what I understood was is people in the hospital, when I saw them, I did watch it at first, but when I saw them in the hospital and they were all in the hospital in the beds, I just turned it, I couldn't watch it. They didn't care about anybody else because, they didn't. They certainly didn't care about us.
Then Bob Johnson used to have parties. And when it was lockdown, nobody could go out, but he had parties, and we couldn't. Yeah, they should give us information so we could understand what's happening. So, but they didn't.
Alison came to visit to talk about our research to ask people with learning difficulties and autism about their experience with COVID and lockdown, and asked us how we coped and how we experienced life in lockdown, and asked questions on how we got information on the rules about lockdown and how we got with information, how we coped through lockdown, if we got any support through lockdown. It's good that we're not ignoring researches about learning difficulties and autism on the lockdown. It's just based on what people think disabled people feel that it was difficult, not what it actually was difficult for disabled people. So it's good that Alison did actual research and asked disabled people